It is, you know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco, strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go. That's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go. I'm a real nigga that'll deal with you. See my past issues make me blast pistols. I'm trying to chill, short, I'll be back shortly. Gotta hit the track till I count to 40.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Cocktail Social. I am your host, The Cat, aka Blue Waters, Miss Kitty the Cat Couture, Miss Kitty in the city, and I am here with my socialites. Hello, socialites. And this is Be Exposed Radio. So thank you for joining us. I want to check in with my socialites. I'm going to start off too. I started off with my left last time. I'm going to start off with my right, and I'm excited because this is actually our maiden voyage. We're actually live. Yeah. Cheers! Raise your cocktails up. So I'm going to take a good. So I'm going to start off to my far right.
Hi.
Mr. Cable.
Hey, what's
Tell me what's been going on.
Well, you know, about to celebrate a birthday. Yes, on Tuesday is my birthday, July 9th. I'm a Cancer. Big ups to the Cancers out there.
Okay.
And right now, I'm just enjoying life, trying to be my little entrepreneur with my show, my soap show, which is called Soap Fam. You can find us on Twitter. At Fam Soap, that's where you find us, and check us out on YouTube on Phoenix Tremaine. I said this before, and I'm about to start trying to do hookahs in the gay community in Baltimore City because it's definitely needed and it's missing. And after traveling to Montreal and all these other places where it's really big, I see money, and that's all I see.
Oh my goodness.
I see money.
I like man to see some money. Oh, and Miss K.
Hi.
Hi.
You guys.
I missed you too.
So, okay, so I'm on some plug stuff for the entrepreneurs, especially for our women, black entrepreneurs. So the last time we were together, I gave out seed bombs, some lemon balm seed bombs.
Yes, you did.
Those seed bombs were courtesy of the Urban Roots Company. If you're looking for an environmentally friendly favorite gift, consider their seed bombs an explosion of beauty. Urban Roots Company is family owned and operated, and they offer products with a positive impact on both people and the planet. Everything from gardening, accessories, decoration, seeds, plants, and gifts, and custom orders are welcome. For me, I'm doing a patio garden. I'm trying to get on my best herbalista right now. So my sage is popping. My peppermint is amazing.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. If I could get my hands on some cannabis seeds, I'll be making smoothies. Smoothies and teas. Smoothies.
But call me if you're fine.
Oh, you got some teas? Holla at your girl. I'll take all of your male plants.
God.
Put me on speed dial. All of your male plants.
Can I tell you something? So let me tell you. Yesterday was a wonderful 4th. I had I guess the joy of performing again with Jonathan Gilmore, who is one of our socialites, but he is not here today because he is recuperating from such a wonderful performance. And so we have in his place his sub, Miss Cloie. Hi.
Hello.
Now she has a wonderful booming personality, but tell me something that's going on with you, Miss Cloie. Tell me something good, girl.
Tell you something good? I can tell you this one thing that's good. Is that I went up into my closet and I pulled out this lovely little number right here. Let me tell you something. This is my Cloie, the one and only. Yes, a little blonde on the top and a little, that on the ends. But yeah, I decided to pull this out just to make my little debut.
So she's a diva today.
Wow.
And on the end, rounding it out, Miss Mizell. Yeah.
How can I help you?
Tell me something good. What's going on in your world, girl?
Chill. Let's see. I have quite a few businesses that I'm trying to promote at this time. I have a body butter and sugar scrub company, Sugar Scrubs, that I make all by hand, all natural, natural body butters and sugar scrubs. And I also do hand wrapped jewelry and stones and crystals and stuff. I also do crochet. So keep me in mind, I do some summer stuff, but wintertime,
don't forget your food art.
Oh, and I got food art. I do a lot of different stuff, y'all. I got
She's extremely creative.
I got minty job, man. But I just gotta get some monetary something,
All right.
bring it in with the moolah. But other than that, performing again, which is quite lovely.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it.
Nothing like it. So, looking forward to more performances and more cocktail social stuff.
So now my socialites. Today's topic, I was going to start it with one other topic, but I decided to change it at the last minute because I felt like it had its place. And so what I'm going to talk about is the question that I was going to say for last, but I'm going to try to use that first.
Okay.
That's because I like to switch things up.
All right.
I mean, I'm versatile that way. I'm flexible that way. I stretch over many dimensions. What are you shaking your damn head about?
Oh, I was in agreement.
Okay.
So the question is, why does the black community continue to seek validation from the very community that has oppressed us? And this is from one of my kittens. Thank you, Miss Brooke Greens, for sending that in. I really appreciate it. And remember, you can always send in a question, and I will bring that up on the Cocktail Social.
Yes.
So the question again is, why does the black community continue to seek validation from the very community that has oppressed us and continues to oppress us?
And I'm going to ask you again, definition of terms for the people who are listening and watching. What do you mean by seeking validation? What is your definition of validation?
So I'm believing what she means by seeking validation is seeking their approval as to what is success, what is successful, what is beauty, what is good, what is,
what black people feel as though black people should do in life. You know how black people say, oh, you black, you supposed to do black things. So I get that from that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a measurement, it's a barometer of who you are as a black individual. Why do we continue to seek validation from people who oppress?
To measure ourselves against
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I can say this as well. A lot of people want to be included. And a lot of people don't like to be excluded. And people looking for validation in any way that can go from wanting to be validated through your oppressors. And I feel like because they have such a hold on mainstream media, and it's what we see all the time, and it's what we see as a mom and a dad, and we see everyone are like medium class income. But if you really want the joys and the benefits of life, you need to have a Bentley, you need to have a Ferrari, people need to praise you, people need to admire you, you need to be famous on any accord. And sometimes, and people do that. You see people exploit themselves, they exploit their family, and they do it all to become what they feel like the level of success is.
Okay, okay. Anyone else?
Me personally, I think that a lot of times, well, one point that she made was, you know, with the, I'm having a brain fart right now.
Brain
I had it all thought out, right? And then when I went to go say it, it just, you know. But anyway, I mean, we don't control media.
Right.
No, we don't.
So, you know, I know when I was a kid, you know, I didn't see a whole lot of black families on TV. And unless, you know, of course, they go on the Cosby Show and, you know, shows like that and Different Strokes, which was kind of half and half and stuff like that. But, you know, for the most part, you know, the stuff that you see, you know, you think that that's what it's supposed to be. That's how it's, you know, even looking at a Barbie doll, everybody's out here trying to get this Barbie doll figure, but Barbie is fictional. And it's like, but it's a certain standard that's set up, you know, through media and through just a, you know, society period. You know, like black people are underrepresented. And we don't really have control of what we put out there as far as media and stuff. And even if we do have it, it's limited or blocked, or certain things are put into play where it's like, you know, they say we're equal or we all have the same opportunities, but we really don't. You know, and so a lot of times we just end up, you know, falling into what we think is the norm. You know, and me personally, I mean, I'm not materialistic. You know, I mean, of course I like nice things, but I don't have to have a big mansion. Like, it's too much. Like, you still got to clean that mansion, you know, you still got to heat it and pay for the rent and the water bill and everything else. I don't personally need that much stuff, you know, but some people feel like, you know, oh, if they have it, then, you know, then I'm supposed to have it, and I'm going to aim to try to get it because that's what they say is success.
And you know, I'm sorry. I believe, and I like the fact that you said something about social media, because social media creates a narrative. And I think that what happens is that we allow it to create the narrative for everyone, for ourselves. And I think that we should take charge of that narrative and change it. I think that a lot of times what happens is that we see ourselves in such a negative light, and no one actually feeds positivity into us. You know, and I believe that. I believe that we, as black people, don't pour into each other in a positive way. And what happens is we're so used to, it's a condition. It's by design. Exactly. It's a design that you feel subpar. You know, and that what you are is second best as compared to everyone else. What were you about to say?
I was going to throw a monkey wrench in my whole demonstration.
What's the monkey wrench?
The monkey wrench is, it's not even, it doesn't even have to be racial, like it's all kinds of systems. Like consider church.
Okay.
You know,
I was bringing around that
not that person who, church, black church, right? It has its own language. It has its own wardrobe. You know what I mean?
Its own mascots.
You ain't never lied. You ain't
she's God.
I'm saying.
But I get.
Am I lying?
That was funny, but
that's real talk. And if you find yourself being an outlier where you see stuff and you're like, I don't fit into anything. You either conform to your oppressors because I'm not gonna say they're oppressive, but if you start feeling pressure and you feel like you're being pushed to be a certain way, that you have to conform to a certain identity, I guess to say, then it does become oppressive. It can become oppressive. So it's like, as a black people, we have shunned ancestors. We have shunned the way that we used to worship. In exchange for, even in churches, everybody has moved to this whole CCM form of worship as opposed to old school gospel where it's wood floors and tambourines to the old
it was a clap and a stomp, honey.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot involved in this one question. There's so many layers to it.
It's definitely loaded.
I'm glad you asked the Super Green, and let me tell you something. I'm going to continue this topic, but we have to break to commercial. So continue to follow us.
Yes.
Go grab your cocktail. I am the Cat, and this is the Cocktail Social, and this is Be Exposed Radio. I'll see you after the break.
Yeah.
Thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real. You right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money should go to, if the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
Skirt, 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 skirt. Start, skirt, 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 start. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring, girl in t-shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me. Ever since then, we've been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh. She got that look in her eye. SL what I'm riding. Royalty, call me highness. All day and overnighted. Cause it's crunch time when I'm grinding. This Adderall got me nauseous. Proceed with caution. Tired of lane, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny Zan, sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the I'm going. Out of space where I'm going.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. I am your host, Blue Waters, and these are my socialites. We were talking about the topic of discussion today was why does the black community continue to seek validation from the very community that has oppressed us and continues to oppress us. And so, we've heard from everyone's supplication.
Hi.
It's okay to
everybody gave such great answers, but I'm just going to say that I don't really think it's validation that they're trying to give back. I think they're just trying to give back their community because they just want to give back to their community. So, you know, they open up these businesses in their community. They want their community to grow fundamentally and financially and everything. So they're giving back to their community. It's not that they seek validations, but they want to see their community grow. They want to have faith in their people, and, you know, hopefully people will gravitate to that and see what they're trying to do and add to it. You know what I'm saying? So some people look at it as validation. I don't look at it as that. I look at it as someone's going out being successful outside the community and bringing that success back. My problem with black people is the oppression comes because of our mental thinking when it comes to that, because it's like we can't see that. It's like when we see a black person rising, we gotta pull them down because we're jealous, where you can just grab my hand as I'm pulling you up and then we can be level together and then we can build and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So that's my issue. Sometimes it's not validation. Like, I'm doing me. I'm not trying to seek validation. I'm trying to give back to my community to give a different narrative to everything than what we always taught and brought up in.
That may be you. Right. What is entitled when you talk about the collective.
But there's a lot of people out there like that. The problem is we don't own media. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of great things going on in the black community where the black community are coming together. The problem is we don't own media, but it's not shown. So where things look like validation, no, it's not validation. It's us giving back, but because you can't see it or understand and grasp what's going on, your mind is thinking, this ain't happening, this ain't going on. Where it's keeping us is down, where we're trying to get here. And sometimes some places they are here, but because you can't see it, you still think we're here. You're going to have a here mentality. And so, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I don't think no one should seek validation from anyone, black, white, Chinese, Asian, whatever. Only validation I'm trying to seek is from God and myself. But, you know, black people, like what you were saying, I just feel like sometimes black people are so stuck in the past that they don't want to move forward. Some of them looking for handouts. Oh, I ain't trying to work hard. Yeah, we got to work extra hard to get there, but it can happen. Oprah did it. Judge Mathis was in jail, and he got out, and he's a judge now. So it can be done. Yeah, we got to work harder. That's not fair, but that's life. You got to push yourself.
For 400 years that we worked on slavery, I think we should get 400 years off.
I'm just saying.
I can agree to that, but reality, that ain't never gonna happen. We deserve that time off.
But it's a lot of that question is so loaded.
It is loaded. It's a loaded question.
There's so many different angles that you can answer this question. Because I mean, you got to figure if what we've been taught. You know, even as far as ourselves, like, we don't even. A lot of us don't even know that, you know, we have contributed probably everything to this society. We don't get credit for it, but we've put a lot into society that we don't get credit for. So a lot of us don't even think that we can do anything other than what we were born, whatever situation you were brought up in. You know what I mean? If you were brought up in the projects, then that's what you were always meant to do. You know people like that are in those environments that don't ever get away from it.
But see, my problem with that is, if we as black people can come together, stand on a corner together, and sell drugs together, and make money together, why can't that same group come together and build an empire where we can make money and bring it into a legal way?
The mindset is not there. It's not. It's not there. First of all, you have to have knowledge of yourself. First of all,
those people smart as hell.
Okay, but most of them don't even know that, you know, the stoplight was, you know, created by a black guy. You know, a lot of people, I mean, like just basic information that we don't know.
Yeah.
They're not going to teach you that in school.
No, they're not.
I mean, and if your parents aren't halfway, you know, at least somewhat awake, then the kids are not getting it. The parents don't know. So it's like, if you're not educated, like people say, oh, you need your education. Okay, if you're going to a school that's not really geared towards us, and then you expect us to learn like everybody else, but one, we need our own schools.
Yeah.
I mean, you have communities out here, you know, Jewish communities, you know, just different communities that have their own schools, their own markets. You can go, look at the Asian market. They have their own market. Where's our market? We depend on everybody else to get these things. And then it's like, okay, if they decided today or tomorrow, okay, we shutting down the market, what you gonna eat? We used to grow our food.
Yeah.
We used to raise our own animals.
Yeah.
And we were self-reliant. But it's gotten to a point where, one, people have gotten extremely lazy.
Yeah.
Where they don't even want to,
wait a minute.
Hold on. A couple months for these tomatoes to grow, and I can just go to the market and grab something that's...
So now you said people have gotten extremely lazy.
People in general have gotten extremely lazy.
Okay.
And yeah.
What were you about to say?
No, I was totally agreeing with her on the whole we're self-reliant and all like that. Like, I was just watching a podcast with the Breakfast Club with Killer Mike and the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about the exact same thing. Like, we used to have our own farm. Like, we used to have our own economy. Like, it was just like, I know you sell jewelry, so I'm only gonna buy exclusively from you as opposed to somebody else down the street. I know that you sell fresh kale and fresh tomatoes, so I'm gonna shop with you, and you know that I sell I don't know, cotton fabric, so you're gonna shop exclusively with me, and so our dollar stays within the community for a longer amount of time. But nowadays, as far as the whole, you know, seeking validation, we kind of dwell within the same community of like-mindedness. So your friends think like you, and your friends think like you. And so if there's a situation where, you know, there's some divergence, then it goes beyond what we know or what we think. And on top of that, as far as what am I about to say? As far as seeking validation, like all of our cultural stuff, other cultures take, like braids and bangles and the way we dress.
So then I will say this. I have to say it.
We created it all. So we
So I think there's a distinction.
Okay.
I think and I think that's a part of the problem. I think that for black people in the United States of America, we don't actually have.
Thank you. That's what I was about to talk. That's what I was about to touch on.
I think that what we've actually done is we've incorporated, we've created our own, but in reality of an identity, we really haven't established who we really are. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, I say something. Remember my party?
Fair enough.
Remember my party?
Yeah.
And there was a young lady there.
Oh, I wasn't there. Wow, my goodness.
I missed this party.
Wait a minute, I wasn't there.
And this young lady. And this young lady.
Oh, right. Oh, really?
You know I be chilling.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Well, I want to hear the story. What's going on?
Really? For you to say that, I really, you know, I'm very
So the young lady proceeded to say to this young man, who is fair-skinned. He's very fair-skinned, and he was really lighthearted.
Who was it? Better not have been my, it wasn't my baby.
No,
she didn't mess with my baby.
Not at all.
You know who I'm talking about, right? Was it Winston? Mess with Winston.
So it was a guest there, and she proceeded to say to him that basically she called him a mutt.
A what?
She basically called him a mutt. And she said that, and
I met him.
No, you've met him.
Oh.
And her words of choice were,
I need to know.
I am African.
She's African.
You are black.
Oh.
You don't have a culture.
Who invited her? Who
there is a difference.
And I have. This person? We won't discuss who it is.
We can't do that.
But what we will say is that it struck me at a place because I felt that when she said it. She said that I am African, you are black.
A black American.
You don't have a culture.
A difference.
Because you wrote us off like a bad check.
When I heard that, I was like, well, shit. But that's basically, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
But you're over here in America adapting to this culture.
It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that that is something that we as black, and we have tried to figure out who we are.
But the answers are out there. It's just we don't know where to look. A lot of us don't know where to look.
So my thing is that what escalated that conversation? What escalated that conversation to get to such a disgusting
Well, can I say this real
What
quick?
escalated to that point? Because when I listen to this, I'm feeling like she felt defensive about something, and she felt like she had to defend herself. And
she was African. They always defensive around black
I
people.
don't want to say that.
Well, I just want to say like,
I mean, I've been around many Africans
where
and
it
they
got that. Where it got to get that low, where you had what led up to that?
But no, let me say this. Let me say this.
I don't know where she was.
Wait a minute. Let me say this. Let me say this because I have worked with Africans. You don't have to do anything for them to say that. You don't have to do nothing. You just walked in black. You're not African. No, seriously. You walked in black. You walked in a black female.
American.
I walked in a black male. And there's an African. No, seriously. If there's an African there, they're already judging you because of that. And her saying that, he don't have nothing that had to happen to make her say it. She's naturally gonna say it because that's what her culture does. Not saying all Africans are bad, but I experienced 90% of them are very rude towards black Americans. But what I wanted to say was the problem where I feel like black people did know who they were. I believe they did know who they were. The problem was when desegregation came along and separated us and we went our merry ways, that's when we got lost because we stuck together when we were when the segregation was here. We had to stick together. We stuck together. We knew who we was. We knew what we wanted. We went out. We marched for it. We worked for it. We had the money was in. But the money was in.
I think we're getting kind of off topic, and I think we kind of like stay on topic. I think that
I don't think that's off topic.
Just a tad, and I just want to reel us back in and just say this. And just say that, you know, when it comes to trying to be successful and trying to impress our oppressors, I feel like it all ties into being the culture right now, which is you're hating on me, or you want to be me, or you're jealous of me, and everybody have this false sense of entitlement, or that you feel like people are envious of you, or you have to make yourself of a sort of status quo for people to follow you, because that's all that you see on mainstream. That's all that pulls you in. And I think that when you actually can step back and say, okay, you know what, maybe I don't need a Bentley, I don't need $1 million home, I do not need to have the latest and newest technology. I am just fine. I'm fine with my cell phone. I'm fine with my home phone. I'm fine with my basic cable. I'm fine with all my basic amenities.
So you have to change
you can be exactly, and you can be okay with that, and changing with the world, and being definitely inclusive, and making sure that you're well about what's happening in the world. Yes, but that does not necessarily mean that I need to have a 6-car garage. I can have me and my family, and I could be completely happy, make it under 6 figures, and still feel happy, and
but that's your narrative. But everyone's narrative isn't the same.
Exactly, but I think it's that following what you might consider success, what mainstream, or trying to oppress our oppressors, and that's why we were saying that whole statement is so vague, because you can take it from any aspect that you want to, and where I'm taking it is to the level of success. What do you consider successful?
So what I will say is this. I think that goes back to what my original statement about the narrative. I think that for a lot of black people, the narrative has been, this is the standard of success, and in order for you to be considered successful, you have to reach this mark. But when they reach that mark, they're still not considered successful.
No.
And the thing, and I think that, so when Miss Green And I think that that's what she was meaning by that question. And why do we continue to try to seek validation from people who have oppressed us? Because their standard is it's naturally going to be oppressive. They're not going to give you access to what they have because they don't want you to get that access. So their bar is going to be right here because to them that's the standard. But in reality, the bar is up here. You get what I mean? Or it may be much lower.
So let me ask you a question. My question is if their standard is so high,
it may not be. It may not be. But that's the perception. And I think that that's what she was questioning. Why do we get stuck on an illusion?
Because that's all we have to live on. It's the illusion. Because we live in such deprived. Right, exactly. And sometimes some people are so deprived. Only thing they have to look forward to is an illusion, is a fairy tale, and to try to obtain that is.
But historically, that's what we happen. And I'm going to say this is personal. But
not everyone is going to be an NFL player. Not everyone is going to be an NBA player. It's not going to happen. So get something else to do.
But historically, what we've been taught, what we've been conditioned to believe is that because of your athleticism, this is where you'll go. Those are the things.
But if you can't read a paragraph, we got a problem.
You get what I mean? But see, those are the things that aren't supported.
Read it, but you have to be able to comprehend what the hell you just read.
But that's not what's supported. And so what's supported is that they exploit those things that they stereotypically denote as black.
Yeah. But
this is why I said, and I made the comment, I'm gonna stick to it. We're talking about athletics and stuff. It's more things out there that black people are doing. It's just not being shown. So when your mentality is always stuck that this is all that black people are doing, then you're lost because it's research. It's out there. We don't control media. We don't control the narrative. Come on now. It was all. You know how many black people are now judges in Houston, Texas that no one want to support?
Can we control the narrative?
Yes, we can.
You can control the narrative. You can. You have social media. The problem.
Using your social media to take pictures of your food and put something a little bit more, with a little bit
take pictures of your food. Listen. Take pictures of your food. Take pictures of your food. If you're a chef, do that. That's something positive. My thing is stop posting these fighting vehicles. Stop. Let's stop taking videos of fighting going on.
What were you about to say?
Let's start taking videos of fights. If you want to do a fight, let's show someone, a black person fighting in court to win their case. Let's show the fight of us going to school trying to get this education, not with two black people battling it out. We can change the narrative. We don't want to. We like what we see.
So what I will say is, I'm going to end on that note. We're going to cut to commercial break. This is the Cocktail Social. Get your cocktails. We are hot in a debate, honey. I am the cat, Blue Waters, and this is the Cocktail Social, and this is BeExposedRadio.com. Join us later.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel up. If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Working mode, tell 'em where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell 'em where the cash. You playing for you gon' run it back. I make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. That was all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Gotta dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it.
You use Tearless baby shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
That was from Brook Green, and it is a loaded question.
Heavy.
And it is a heavy question. I believe that there are so many factors to it, but it was a wonderful question. Now, I haven't.
The question again because it came live while you was talking.
Oh,
okay.
Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. I am your host, Blue Waters, and these are my socialites. The question that we were discussing is, why does the black community continue to seek validation from the very community that has oppressed us and continues to oppress us? It was a very loaded question. There are many factors to that question. Indeed. I think each of you gave some very valid points.
Okay.
I have my opinion, and I think you, the viewers, have your opinions too.
Yes.
So please weigh in. Send us your thoughts. Give us as much feedback as possible. Definitely want to get your feedback. I have another question, and this is another hot topic.
Oh boy.
Because I'm a relationship-oriented person. I love relationships.
I love
being in love. It's just so wonderful, especially when it's in the summertime and you just
the summer breeze.
You're dating and you're taking long walks and you're listening to Jill Scott. But then there comes
and here we go.
1 month later.
Oh, good luck. Help us. 1 month later. It only took 30 days.
I'm sorry. I'm lying. I'm lying.
That's all right. More like 60.
No, a year later.
Okay.
A year later.
Okay.
After you've invested your time with this individual.
Oh God, help us. Help us.
Things change.
Things change.
And I want to know, when is it justifiable to cheat?
When is it justifiable? When is there justifiable to cheat?
My kitten.
It's so not.
When is it justifiable? Now let me tell you something.
Pick me.
In my opinion.
Right.
In my opinion, I have multiple feelings about this.
Oh, please pick me. I like it.
I am a very meat-oriented person.
Oh,
meat.
Oh, okay.
It's narcissistic.
What you say?
You label it as what again?
Meat.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said you was meat.
He said meat.
No,
I was ready to tell.
I'm meat.
He said meat.
And the reason why I say that I'm meat-oriented is that because I think that we've been conditioned to be doormats. And people walk over you. And I think that a lot of times people take kindness for weakness.
Wow.
And I think that what happens is that in relationships, a lot of times what we send is our representative as opposed to who we really are.
Oh God.
And then what happens is that down the line you see this individual who they really are. And for me, I feel like if I have committed to you and this is who you represented yourself to be, then that's who you should be
throughout
6 months down the line.
Yes, sir.
And I get it.
Yes,
you
sir.
may fluctuate, you may fluctuate, you may change, but my whole thing is I feel like when you cheat, there is always a reason why you're cheating. And I think that what happens is either one person isn't talking or one person isn't listening. And what happens is in any of that situation, there's going to be a problem.
Okay.
So who are you going to like on the panel first?
I think Kurt.
Is it the one that kept saying, pick me? Pick me.
I do not feel that cheating is justifiable.
You don't?
Only because, and this is strictly me. I feel like rather than cheat, just walk. Like I feel like, okay, so I was in a situation. I was in a relationship with, I was 7 years in. And it was raggedy as a bowl it got for me, and I'm going to say that. But, it influences and nutritious. But, I said to him, like I gave him a warning. I said, you are walking around like a man who has a beautiful home, but you left all of your windows and your doors open. He didn't hear me. I didn't cheat. I left. Because what's the point? Why am I gonna leave you standing in the wings when I know that you can't hear me? You ain't trying to operate in the way that you need to in order to keep me. So I'm gonna leave you by yourself to waddle and all of that foolishness that you got going on, and I'm gonna move on. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It just means that you are not good for me and I'm not good for you in this space. Exactly. So I'm gonna let you go. You go do you, and I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do the best version of me that I can.
And that's all they can do is respect them.
All you can do is respect it because I'm being honest.
The most reasonable, not degrading, still walking away with some dignity sort of way of breaking up without necessarily having to cheat.
And I've been called a unicorn. Hold on, but I've been called
Order in the court.
We're going to stick to the good side first.
All that sounds good. I like the diplomatic version.
Let the good side go.
I like the diplomatic version.
Let the good side go.
Because of that way of thinking.
Right.
But I understand that a lot of people are selfish. They want
to
stay. I'm going to leave you over here because when I feel some kind of way, I know I can jump on it and wiggle. Meaning a person who is outside of the norm, outside of what you're used to, encountering. So most people are selfish. Most people are like, oh, he good, his head is good, he makes me come. It's good. I'm gonna keep him in the wings because he satisfies my physical needs, but I got dude over here who satisfies my intellectual, my emotional, my everything else. Wow. And so they be selfish and they try to combine. They try to have the best of both worlds without giving up anything rather than pursuing that one person who holds everything they need. It's selfishness.
I have a question for you, Kay. So one of our followers want to know, would you go back later in that situation? So after they've...
Heck yeah. A lot of these women take these men back every
day. Would you go back later?
Men back. Men don't take women.
In your situation, would you go back?
They might not say it, but
you show me all that I needed to see. I'm good on you.
Especially when they know they was fucking up.
And you was going to say, Mr. Cable?
So I'm with my partner in crime over here. It's no justification for cheating. If it gets to the point where you have to step out, then I'd rather you step out on a permanent basis than step out and come back in and still be in the same rut that you've been in and constantly stepping out, because the only thing you're doing is hurting yourself in the process while you're hurting that. You're probably not even hurting that person probably cheating on you too. Why go through that when you can just separate yourself, live your life freely to do what you want without worrying about them finding out, trying to keep, because you know when people cheat, they tell a lie, then you build up on a lie, then you build up a lie, and then you don't forgot the first lie. So when they come back at you, you like you know. So I just don't think.
So wait a minute.
Don't cheat.
Wait a minute.
What they say?
So I like my thoughts. Before I continue, I'm going to have to because my good side has got it on it. So I'm gonna go to my bad side after this break. So I want you to go back. I want you to get your cocktail. Join in the conversation here at the Cocktail Social. I am your host.
I'm drinking water.
The cat. Miss Kitty the Cat Couture, and this is the Cocktail Social at beexposedradio.com.
Oh my!
All right.
So exposed.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on beexposedradio.com.
I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, and I was thinking, like, you know,
the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Far into this unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. We are in another topic, which is a hot topic. So the question, so my angels, were weighing in, and they were really weighing in. And the question was, when is it justifiable to cheat? Now I say this is my position on it. I feel like, I know that a lot of people will say, this is some bullshiggity. But I feel like you may be with somebody that you really want to be with, but they really just don't get it, and they're not meeting your needs. And I think that what we are hung up on mostly is physical cheating. But we don't ever discuss emotional cheating. And I am an emotional cheater.
Oh no.
I will sit back and I will like, you know what? If you don't meet my need here, I'm gonna meet my need someplace else. And that's what we. Well, thank you, Cloie. And that's me being candid. That's me being honest. I'm transparent. I tend to be very transparent. People don't believe that I'm acting very transparent. And so I'm the type of person who believes that, you know, if you're not getting your needs met there, that doesn't mean that this person is bad or bad for you. It's just that they have a deficit. And sometimes they're reluctant to get that, they're reluctant to address that area of development.
Well,
they may say, you know what, they may not even hear you because they may not be able to hear you. So I feel like, and you may say, you know what, I wanna talk to you, I wanna work with you, but you just don't get it. And it may be physical. You may say, look, babe, I want to be physically intimate with you, but you just don't know how to do that.
That old spare tire's in the way.
What old spare tire?
The meat roll, man. I quit.
If I'm at you and you got a 6-pack, I mean, I'm talking about you want that junk like, you know, like Baywatch. You know what I'm saying?
And that can justify to me.
All of a sudden, you know, you get older, your stomach stuff up.
I mean, but when your bowels would be
you look like Mr. Tiger. Are you kidding me? And that can, to me, be justifiable. Not necessarily. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Studies have proven.
Oh, shit.
Studies have proven that, and more in Europe and more in Latina, where cheating isn't as catastrophic as it is in the U.S. Okay, and it can be very catastrophic. Now, would I want my partner to cheat? No. But this is my experience. Have I dealt with men who cheated? Yeah. Hell yeah. Have you dealt with women? Be honest. Preach to the choir. Have you dealt with a man who was already married?
Wait a minute.
Okay. Already had a girlfriend, but yet he's dating you.
So I'm about to call you.
Okay. Whatever the hell. If you dare bring up anybody else, it's going to be on. And it's going to be live for real. However, I will say this. When this comes growth, it comes growth. And what comes growth is this, is that people cheat because a lot of people are inact. Like you said, they don't want to listen. And the fuckery goes on. The fuckery pursues.
So can I ask you something? See my panelists. See my panelists. You know the cat is always right.
Yes.
Let me tell you, my viewers, the cat is always right. So see my panelists. Have you cheated?
See, you ain't no hell no. You won't let me answer.
Let me tell you something. The first one, is the first one.
I know the station is called Be Exposed.
However, who's the loudest one speaking, right?
But I'll answer honestly. But let her answer the question first.
So I will say this.
She want to answer the question.
So the reason why I say this.
Let her answer the question.
I am. The reason why I say this is because that changes the whole.
The whole narrative?
The whole narrative. So hold on here. I'm all about narratives, baby.
Jumping like double dutch.
Look at you.
Now this is what I'm saying. Now most people are not going. Okay, because you gotta think about people that's married. You gotta think about people that's in long-term relationships. You know, they're not willing to give up what they have established, because a lot of people in relationships for the convenience of being able to take care of their damn bills. Let's just be real.
That part. And companionship.
So in companionship,
to talk to at 1 o'clock in the morning.
People think that, oh, because you cheat, that you don't love the person that you're with. That's not always true. But sometimes the person that you're with does not provide everything that you need. It's the 80-20 theory.
That's a justification.
So if like say for instance, you're a type of person that want to go out here and do mountain climbing and you know, do all types of stuff, but your mate, you know, got one.
That's about
to say something.
She wanted to climb another type of mountain.
You already know I was over there. I had to cut it short. You know,
I see how you looked at me.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, sometimes the person that you're with does not like the same things that you like. But I blame that on a lot of times we settle down with people that we are not meant to be with.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Let's get a rebuttal.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. See,
hold on over there.
See, the problem with a lot of relationships today is, number one, we don't take time to get to know the person.
That's the problem.
You better talk.
We don't communicate with our spouse or the person we're trying to be with properly. Because when you do those two things, then you'll start to learn the difference that each. I don't mind being with someone different. You might teach me something that I've never done before.
True.
Wait. Let me finish now.
Go on now.
You know, don't make me laugh because I'm gonna lose it. It's crazy as hell. Listen, but no, seriously, when you really take the time to get to know each other and see what each other like, what we don't like. Okay, I don't do mountain climbing, but I like skiing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Then we come up with a compromise. Then we talk compromise. Let's go to the resort where they got both. And baby, I love you. Go do your own. Or I might even join you to experience it. The problem is we don't want to get out of our comfort zone to jump in, and then we don't allow the person to do it. We want them to do it like that. Then the minute we don't get results, then we call ourselves, I love you, but I'm going to go out and find. No, that's not what you did. Go ahead.
Because it's like, my thing is, if you're with someone, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, you know, I mean, when you're in a relationship, you know, a lot of people out here have, you know, you might meet a guy or girl, you know, it's like, oh, they kind of cool, you know, you might not even be looking for a relationship, but you start kicking it with them, you hanging out, and next thing you know, you done kind of fell into a relationship that you wasn't necessarily looking for, you know, because now the things that you're doing is relationship-like.
Is that what you're doing?
You know, you're going on dates and, you know, little stuff that, you know what I'm saying, you in category, you ain't putting it in the category as a date, but you on a date, bitch.
You speaking Sagittarius.
So I'm just saying, you know, sometimes you end up, you know, you get in relationships with people, and you know, people get complacent. You know, you have everyday life going on. You know, because you might be messing with somebody. I mean, he might have been like a damn wild animal in bed before y'all really hooked up. Right. But then when y'all, you know, you actually in the relationship, you know, life takes preference. You know, and it's like, okay, that person might be at work all the time, or you know, you might have, you know, a whole lot of other things going on. And what happens is you know, sometimes you have connections with people.
Yeah.
You know, and it may not be always politically correct to have those connections, but let's just face it. You have connections with certain people. You know what I mean? And when you have those connections, you know, sometimes shit happens.
About a connection.
And it just is what it is. You know what I mean? And
how about
you don't love the person that you're with. It just means that, okay, at this particular time, I'm feeling this particular way, and this is what it is. It don't mean that I'm loving the person, you know, the person any less. None of that, because a lot of people.
But it sounds like this.
So, but I get what you're saying. You know, like you. I mean, look, I ain't gonna
say this little tidbit.
Well, what if it's your game that's slacking and not his?
It doesn't matter.
Then guess what? What is that?
But how would you know that?
If you ain't doing it at home, they gonna find somewhere else for that shit.
Right. What if you go
there?
Hold on. So Miss K, I'm gonna get Miss K, and then I'm gonna get Miss Chloe.
I feel like that is the place where communication comes in. Like whether you fall into the relationship or whether the relationship is intentional, there needs to be a conversation had of here are my deal breakers. Like these are my deal breakers. Anything else I probably could deal with, but this right here is a deal breaker. Like my partner right now, I laid it out. Here are my deal breakers. Anything else I can deal. I can tolerate. So as long as you're not kicking out deal breakers, then that's fine. Like I got check boxes. Check. Once you cross that deal breaker, then I mean there always needs to be as long as there's communication, I feel like nobody gets hurt. You know what I mean? So even if you say that you're lacking, like, hey, listen, your stroke game is subpar. You feel what I'm saying? If you say
maybe you're throwing back game is subpar.
But even still, but that's what I'm saying. Where's my inspiration? Your stroke game is subpar.
Okay,
your back
stroke
is not. But if my throwing it back game is subpar, I feel like
your man just got off work. He tired, bitch. You better back that ass up. What you mean? That's true too. That's true too. I agree. I agree with that.
Rounding it in.
Have some motivation. You gotta go
You good?
Okay! I'm going to make these balls are about to explode! I need you to out of here! With the clinch!
Surrounding it in.
Oh my goodness.
So Brooklyn Carter said it depends on the situation.
So I believe.
Now we know why Jonathan really sick.
I believe.
I love you, Jonathan.
Under the weather, huh?
That's what happened when I'm on the panel.
Wait a minute.
He'll be here in a fucking. I'll be tripping from his arms. His ass is out of here because that bitch ain't going. Excuse me.
So what I will do, as you can see,
that shit is funny.
This is a cocktail social. This is a cocktail social.
Yeah.
We've had more than enough cocktails.
Yeah, indeed.
And some of us had a little bit
we
more
will join you after this break. This is Be Exposed Radio. Join in. Talk to you soon.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right. They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're.
Then your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like negative 65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
The pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.70, which is 26th in the league. They have 126 walks allowed.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017. He's on 4.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
The life and the question at this moment is, when is it justifiable to cheat? Now, everyone has stated their opinion, and I've listened, and I'm weighing in, but I definitely believe that it depends on the situation.
Yes.
I'm a situational person. And I am like this. I feel like I'm not a cheater in a sense. But let me tell you, when I need my needs met, I need my needs met. Now that doesn't mean I don't like you. Don't mean I don't love you. Don't mean I want to be with you. Don't mean I want to build a house with you.
Like you.
But if you ain't hitting that spot, and I done told you how to hit that spot, it motherfucking spot. We got a problem. But that's just me. Now you may argue with me all you want to.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
No justification.
Let me tell you something. I give 0.
Fuck your couch.
So how about this? How about communicate and have an open relationship? Invite someone else in the business.
Okay, because
There are ways you can do things without cheating.
Hold on.
Let me speak. Let me.
There are ways.
So
There are ways to do things.
Hold on.
Let me let the devil's side go. Cause y'all done had y'all way.
We have.
Go Devils.
Wait a minute, hold on. You got a devil in the
Okay, this is my thing. This is my thing. I'm a firm believer in letting somebody know ahead of time.
That
if you
part.
have a flaw, if there's something that you're not doing, if you ain't bringing enough roses, if you ain't kissing my toes enough,
You ain't tying me up tight enough.
if you ain't cooking enough dinners, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah.
But if you have been given the warning and I've told you what it is that I like, I'm gonna give you a chance.
Yes.
Correct everything that you need to do. But if you get to the point where it's like, okay, I done told you, you ain't listening. All right, I done told you again, you still ain't listening. Now, 2.5, 3 times. I ain't saying I'm gonna go out there and cheat.
How and ever.
And I ain't saying I'm going out there and looking for it. But I done gave you your fair goddamn chance.
That part.
Now, certain situations, you might be in a long-term relationship, you might be in a marriage or whatever the situation may be. It ain't that easy. Yeah, people be like, well, we'll just let them know that the shit don't work like that. Because when you looking at marriages and shit like that, you're talking about half. So people are not willing to give up their 80% to get 20. So what they do is they compensate by they say, okay, you know what? They're not saying that people go out here and aim to cheat. But you know, situations come about. If you somebody that's social and your partner is not, and you're like, okay, I don't want to like suppress my social part of me just to kind of accommodate my partner. So okay, I want to go out. Okay, if you go out and you meet somebody that's on that same page, it's not necessarily saying that you don't love your spouse or you don't love your partner. It's just saying that okay, right now this person has something that my partner's not giving me. Now that partner may not be able to even give you what you're looking for. You know, I ain't even gonna go down that road. But you see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that it's okay to cheat, but what I'm saying is I understand it. Because people, like I said, people are not willing to give up their 80% to go after a 20%. You know, but that 20% might be that 20% that keeps you sparked up to be in your 80% relationship.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
So, Miss Chloe, what did you have to say?
Okay, so my thing is this, is that within the whole trying to appease your partner, maybe it is something just animalistic within ourselves. And my thing is that maybe becomes a social class. Because again, as I was saying earlier in this segment, was that I was doing some research, and within the United States, a lot of times when you deal with cheating, it's catastrophic. And people deal with it on a catastrophic thing. And people personalize it, and then you lose weight. You try to possibly look like the person that they cheated.
What happened? She said you lose weight. She said
I need a bitch to cheat on me. I'm trying to do about 35, 45 pounds. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry, that shit came out of contact.
That is the cocktail.
I say that to say this is this.
That's what you had done.
Sometimes people cheat. Sometimes they cheat because they're overweight over the years, and they are infatuated by another person's body, which is why women get so upset when they look at who their man is following. If half these bitches on here look at who their men are following, you be It's not you. It's the person that's cheating on you. And people personalize it. They make it into their own shit that you got to deal with. It's not you. It's the person that's cheating on you that have the freaking problem.
Sweetie, what I will say.
That's all I wanted to say. And I'm sorry that people got offended, but that's the freaking truth.
I need a commercial break. I am out of cocktail.
So what I will say is, as you can see, this is a heated conversation.
Yes.
We all have some opinions about when is it justifiable to cheat.
It's not.
This is the Cocktail Social.
Hey!
We are the social.
And this is Be Exposed Radio. Join us after these commercials. Be right back. Nothing.
You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. So deeply wounded, but don't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. So you just sit there and you suffer in silence. Your pride won't let you just uncover your secret. Don't wanna look weak in your image, it ain't worth losing. So you just act as if it's nothing happening. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. Suicidal, depressed, but you won't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. You feel alone even though the people surround you. Popping pills every night even though you know they can't solve it. The emotional pain, it just seems way too heavy. Your mind is racing, wanna scream, somebody help me. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. These type of people sit right under our noses. We don't find out till we're on IG scrolling. We post a few
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up to, just go hard. Don't let it. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom's bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response, but they let her hear me talk, so I'll just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way, so get lost. Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, to get your mash on. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours in due time, ain't gotta ask for it. I'm from the school of hard knocks, I took a crash course. Should be stressful, my nigga, that's why I'm getting high. But that's life, and it's the code that I live by. And you know how it is, where we at, nigga. They say money can't buy happiness, but I be happy as a bitch when I can have dinner. Learn from your losses or you end up like the last nigga. I fall off, I bounce back, I really come from the dirt. But if you wanna make it happen, gotta put in the work. The word will kick you when you down, and I know this shit hurt. And it's crazy cause your family, your shit on you first. My sister stabbed me in my chest, I had a hole in my shirt. I never said a prayer for her on my way to the hearse. I died twice that night, man, I'm just happy to be here. And shit like that is the reason I never be scared. Was drifting through the smoke in the field, I couldn't see clear. It's deeper than the rap, I'm where the bottom of the sea is. Was trying to make it happen till I happen to ball. It's all mind over matter, the fuck the matter with y'all, huh? Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, to get your mash on. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours in due time, ain't gotta ask for it. I'm from the school of hard knocks, I took a crash course. Should be stressful, my nigga, that's why I'm getting high. But that's life, and it's the code that I live by.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live United. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I eat them every day.
Y'all are wonderful. Welcome back to the Cocktail Social. And these are my socialites.
Hey.
We have Miss Mizell.
Yeah.
Miss Chloe.
Yeah.
Mr. Kable. And Miss K. And I am Blue Waters, a.k.a. the Cat. And the question at the moment is...
like a cat in heat.
All these cats in the heat, Miss Allen.
All of us.
Who else?
So the question is, at this moment, when is it justifiable to cheat?
It's not.
And I was going back to Mr. Kable because I know that he wanted to weigh in. He wanted to say something. So go ahead, Kable. Give us your thoughts.
Well, see, I think there's no justification. Communicate. If you can't communicate, if you can't get it together, then both of you need to communicate on leaving. And that's just plain and simple. And that's just how I'm going to keep it.
So what if, so in my situation, what if I'm communicating with you, but you're unreceptive of what I'm saying?
Then there's a problem.
So now my thing is, I don't want to leave you. So based off of what you just stated was, if there's an issue with communication and no one's getting the message, then leave. but I don't want to leave you because I genuinely want to be with you. Right. But you're not getting the message that you're not meeting a specific need.
Well, with me, if you're not coming off, you have to come off a certain way with me. Like, you have to come off aggressive. You gotta let me know it, make me know it. Like,
but see that's for me. That sounds like a personal issue. That's not me. That's you. Yeah. Because if I'm telling you in the way that I know how to tell you, that there is something missing, and you're not receiving it because it's not being delivered the way that you can.
So my question is to you then, if I'm not delivering what you're trying to get me to deliver, and you go out cheating, why are you constantly going to stay in something that's just going to constantly make you miserable? You can love someone enough to leave them. I love you, but I love myself more.
That part.
And if I'm not being...
So my thing is this, I'm not necessarily... One need isn't being met.
But now, if I come to you and say, well, are you cheating on me? What you're going to say? You're going to say, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, bitch, well, I'm leaving you then.
Fuck you.
No, I'm just saying. Then you come to the point where now I'm asking you, are you cheating?
But that's a whole nother issue.
Now you have to. That's the point. So it's
and this goes to another issue because what happens is that we're conditioned to lie. You're not supported to tell the truth.
Right, that's true.
Whenever you tell the truth, motherfuckers want to say, well, I want to leave you.
Right.
But they don't want to accept the fact that the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because...
The reason why I'm cheating
I think that...
cheat, though. But my thing is what you just said. To what you just... I'm sorry, Chloe, 1 minute. You can come right on in.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Just let me get this one.
Then to what you're saying is, now, you're going to lie. But then a lie, then another lie, then another lie. And what you said, how you know I'm miserable? At some point, you are miserable. You're lying. You had to keep the story straight. You had to keep going.
Hold on. So Brooklyn Carter says. Wait a minute. Brooklyn Carter says some situations I feel like why not? I mean, you can always leave, but sometimes you have so much invested. It just makes sense to step out for a second because even divorce is expensive.
So we're talking financial investment or emotional investment?
All
because
of
see,
it,
that's why I have a problem. Because if you're in it for financial, then you already in the marriage for the wrong reason, and so then whatever happens. But when I hear, that's what you just said. She said divorce is expensive.
So Miss Chloe, Miss Chloe, what did you have to say?
I just want to intersect one quick second, and I just want to say this: is that when you dealing with a couple, and that's a whole lot of it is compromise. And sometimes when you're dealing with a couple situations, certain partners get offensive. If you tell them that, hey, you're lacking in this area, this is what I require. I want you to sit up straight at a dinner meeting. I want you to actually put some thought into your fucking outfit and not just throw on a white t-shirt. Okay? Beige jeans is not the fucking thing. Sometimes I want you to grow old gracefully. Sometimes you have a little gray, it's a little distinguished, and it's showing yourself as being a distinguished gentleman. And for you to try to rub all of that out, it's just showing you as being an insecure, can't grow old, and can't do your own shit without masking it. But you can't deal with your own reality. And my thing is that lots of times with cheating, especially when it comes to women, I feel like this. You have to be honest with your man. You have to be honest with yourself.
That part.
And sometimes just because a woman or a man cheats doesn't necessarily mean that they want to be out on a relationship. Sometimes they still want to be on a relationship. But you cannot satisfy certain needs. Maybe you're not willing to break from out of your boundaries. Or maybe sometimes their boundaries are the ones that you cannot achieve too. And that's when it becomes a real good meeting of the mind. And sometimes when we look at cheating as it's something that we did. It's something that we're lacking as a woman that's making this man want to go out here and cheat. And it's something that we're doing. Maybe we need to look more like that Instagram bitch that he's following.
I'm not doing that.
And that's not necessarily the truth.
Instagram bitch.
That's what the fuck I said. And my thing is that a lot of times it's not you, it's him. And a lot of times it's not him, it's your black ass.
Wait a minute.
We have to sit up here and be honest without
that we want. Maybe he was being short and fat when we first left his fucking ass. But now, that shit don't matter. We want somebody that can sling that thing. It might have been all cute in the beginning, but it's
Cloie, I got a question for you. Cloie, can I ask you a question? I have a question for you. Do you cook?
Yes, I cook.
So what if it's your skinny ass making him fat? Stop cooking. Make vegetarian meals instead of meatloaf, ham, and sweet potatoes. I'm just saying. No, you say he getting fat. You cook, right?
Exactly.
So you might be making cornbread. What do you cook, Chloe? What's your dish?
If he feels like the reason why he cannot meet your needs in the bedroom is because you're feeding him too much, then the fat bastard needs to fucking admit that shit. And not go ahead and cheat and go with some skinny. But yeah, he's a fat fuck. But he's gonna fucking skinnier bitch than you because he's mad that he's too fat for you.
Can I tell you something, Chloe?
He's gonna fuck somebody years younger than you and probably pounds lighter than you. Not in my case.
Chloe.
But speaking for a lot of other women out there, that can happen.
Chloe.
And when it do happen to you, and whatever the fuck, then you need to be doing his mind. I give a shit.
You.
Yeah.
I'll
hug you. He been starting. You knew he was gonna start this shit. He started that shit. You started both. You started paying that camera over to Yoda.
So can I say something?
Yoda was a wise one. I take it.
So can I say something?
Yes.
This is the cocktail social.
It is the cocktail social.
And what I will say is, as you can see, this is a adult conversation, and it gets a little bit heated.
Keep your kids all the way.
But what I will say is, this was a wonderful topic,
I'll agree.
and y'all should weigh in.
Is we going to commercial break right now?
No, y'all should weigh in. I need all of you.
From my people.
I need all of you to weigh in.
All my people.
Following, weigh in.
Please,
come on, Rika. Come on, Candace, Sharonda, Hannibal, Tiara.
I'm going to pan to
Crystal.
I'm going to pan to Miss Mizell.
And Mizell ass.
Come on, Mizell. What you got to say?
Now, this is my thing. Now.
So my name is Kable, not Yoda.
Hold on. Come on, Mizell. You can say that.
He is a trap. Trust me.
My thing is, okay, you know, people take cheating a little bit too goddamn personal.
You should.
Well, hold on. Hear her out.
Should you?
Come on, state your case.
What's good for the goose?
I can't
stand it. If you out there been cheating, then that's saying that, okay, so I got free range to cheat. Now, I ain't saying I want to go out here, you know, because you got to be careful, because there's some stuff out here.
Deed stuff.
You know, I mean, you know, there's some shit out here that'll rot your dick.
Are we talking about STDs?
It's not only, no, wait a minute. Can I say something? It's not just dicks that'll arrive.
No, man.
So for all you vaginas out there.
Women, vaginas, and back of throats.
And the booty hole.
No, oh my God.
So all I'm saying is, it's a right way to cheat. And it's a wrong way to cheat.
You sound like an Escape song.
What's the Escape song she said?
That's my thing.
Everybody.
If you're my man and you want to cheat on me, at least if you want to cheat right. You know what does that even mean? Out here, you know, you messing with some chick on the side,
and you bring home a baby.
Your feet rusty.
Oh, what?
You out in public with the rusty foot bitch.
She might have rusty foot.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't even trying to be discreet.
No, I just got. I
quit.
quit.
Good way to cheat, and it's a bad way to cheat. If there's rules with your cheating, because some people out here be like, you know what? I'm a cheat, but yeah, I'm in a relationship, but I'm a cheat. And I ain't gonna use no condoms.
No, sir.
Or I'm a cheat, and I ain't gonna do this and other. But my thing is, there's rules to cheating. If you gonna be wrong, be right and you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you go ahead and cheat, at least be respectable enough to say, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna use condoms while I'm cheating. Especially when you're in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I ain't saying that I'm condoning cheating.
Right.
What I'm saying is there's a right way to cheat. But you got some people out here that's messy as hell, where they go out here and they cheat, and then you got babies on the way and shit. You got 4 or 5 kids.
That part.
The wife don't know about and all this other stuff. It's messy. So it's like, I'm not condoning cheating, but if you're going to cheat, just be respectful in your cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like an oxymoron, but I'm just saying, be respectful in your cheating.
Sound like
because
straight
people out
people
here
problem.
Wait a minute, Rika Bagley Bates said yes.
So
Dirty feet.
Yeah, somebody actually, Guy King said he laughed at Rusty Foot bitch. That was a funny damn.
Quote of the day.
You out here with this potato heel.
Hashtag Rusty Foot bitch.
Rustic potatoes in our goddamn shoes and shit. I'm sorry.
So we do know that we all have an opinion about cheaters. We all have an opinion about cheaters. As we can see, this is a touchy subject.
Indeed so.
And we all must have some inclination at some point to say, you know what? I'm thinking about stepping out.
Yeah.
But you may say at that point, maybe I want to have a conversation with the person that I'm with. Just because I think we need to address this issue. And I think that's all about being confident and courageous.
Yeah.
I think that's about where your esteem is. Because a lot of times people fear what the response is going to be.
That's true.
It's honesty.
And they may believe that, you know what, if I say that your sex is not good, or you're not satisfying me, that you're going to leave me. And that fear is what is initially an oppressive factor.
But isn't that an ego thing?
It may be.
You tell somebody, this is like trying to tell a chick.
Hurt my feelings.
You can't tell no chick that her pussy ain't good. And
I'm sorry,
be so blunt about it.
it doesn't mean that her pussy isn't good. And I think that is the
But that's an ego thing.
That's exactly
it's ego. It's all about ego.
Wait a minute. And I just want to say this. I think that is the point that it has gone unnoticed. And that's what a lot of women internalize. And it's not necessarily the case that your pussy ain't no good and you're just a horrible person.
But sometimes it's not.
No,
just like sometimes the dick ain't good.
Wait a minute.
Sometimes the dick just ain't good. You know what I'm saying? You didn't walk around. Think about it. Now let's think about the one.
We're going to come back.
I got something to say about this.
Hold on.
Not to say
and I'm going to finish my point.
I love the cocktail social because we get live.
That part.
This is what you will get when you're at the cocktail social. We get live. So join us after this break. We are the Cocktail Social and this is Be Exposed Radio. And join us after these commercials.
Be ready.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Black by Demand radio show.
Control. They said she wouldn't so they didn't know if she had a weapon. So it's just a mess. So yeah, you do have to have these discussions with your children.
You do. And you have to make them aware of that there is an enemy out there. Every time the police pull you over or every time you have an interaction with the police as a black person, you are at risk of being in front of your enemy. Hopefully it's not a police officer that wants to demonstrate that he's your enemy, but we all see it's a high probability of that being the case. So if we're not talking to our children do not have the coping mechanisms to deal with these type of intense situations. What they're going to do is what most of us do as black people, me and anyone else, which is become emotional. And that is the trigger point for the police. They know that black people are emotional people. So when they arrive on the scene, they are purposely trying to say and do things to you to get your emotions up, right? And then once they get your emotions up, then it's like, oh, that's what we needed. Now we're going to kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. You know, so I'm saying we need to have these discussions with our children, you know, and make them understand in this day and age, and it's every day and age really, but we'll just say this day and age for the sake of it being so prevalent on social media, like you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And I think a lot of us as black people are just scared to still tell our children that there are a group of people out here that are your enemies.
Join us every Monday at 12 noon for Black by Demand radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm gonna show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world and found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated babysitting with a passion. She deserved better circumstances. A black queen, she should have been blessed with certain chances. Look down upon getting all the hurting glances.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Motherfucker, yeah.
And whatever the hell,
So,
Jonathan, sister,
we are here back at the Cocktail Social, and I am your host, Blue Waters, and this is the Cocktail Social.
Cocktail Social.
And we are at our final moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from the extremes to the middles. I'm going to go from the left to the right. You have 30 seconds to surmise this whole last topic, and that is, when is it justifiable to cheat? Give us your summary.
All I'm saying is, if, like, what about the people who are, you know, who held out until they found their husband, I'm gonna save myself till marriage, and then you had sex and his dick is wet.
Wait a minute, Jesus. That's why.
Are you supposed to sit around and take this weak, mediocre sex? I mean,
if you saving yourself for marriage,
I'm done.
This mediocre.
This is the part where she's cut.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
She doesn't want the ball no more.
But real talk, I feel like if you're in a relationship and you communicate that, look, you know, this is what I need, this is what I want, and that person is still not doing it. A lot of people are not willing to step away from their, you know, relationship for something that can be met through cheating. It could be, and when I say cheating doesn't necessarily mean sex. Because you can go, you know, cheating could be, okay, I'm going out and I'm having an emotional relationship with somebody else, because your partner may not be an affectionate or emotional type of person. So you might, you know, have somebody that you go and have this type of relationship with that's not.
So is it justifiable then?
Justifiable. I feel like when you let a person know ahead of time, when you let a person know ahead of time and they don't correct the situation, then perhaps it's justifiable, but it ain't right. Okay. It's justified, but it ain't right.
Okay,
so, Miss Cloie, when is it justifiable?
When is cheating justifiable?
Yes.
Cheating is justifiable if you have had a meeting of the mind and your needs are not being met. And your partner is solely and inclusively thinking about themselves, then yes. And if your needs are not being met, yes, I think that cheating can be justified. Now, will I consider it tail-talking against cheating and possibly ultimately letting a relationship go, and that being your motive? Yes. I don't necessarily look at it as a bad thing. I sometimes can look at it as a liberating thing. It can be liberating on both aspects. It can be liberating on the fact that you can actually be with somebody else who wants a fucking boring ass. Or that person can move on and liberate themselves and have their own exclusive identity to whatever it is that they want to do.
So Miss Cloie, is it justifiable to cheat?
And depending on the situation, especially is it justifiable to give blood? Is it justifiable to give an organ?
Answer the question.
I'm going to answer the question, but I have to leave that telltale sign and plant that seed too, because it's such, again, a broad topic. And is it justifiable to cheat in certain situations? In certain situations,
Fuck yeah! It's freaking justifiable.
Thank you.
If he is not satisfying your needs, you have exploited to him. You both had a meeting of the mind. He is still determined to be a side fuck and not try to open your legs and not try to explore anything else with you. Yes! Yes! Are you fucking kidding me? Explore your options. What's wrong with you?
Hold on.
Yes! Are you fucking kidding me?
So Miss K.
Yes, Kay! Tell the people!
When is it justifiable to cheat?
Yeah! Did you want to say about poor penis?
It's not acceptable to...
Oh, damn. It's 5 minutes up right
We have to whisper.
It's not...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think that it's acceptable to cheat. I feel like if you've had the conversation, if communication is open and honest about what your needs are, what your deal breakers are, then there's no excuse to cheat if they're not meeting where you say, hey, this is my limit, this is my deal breaker. If they're not meeting it, then it's like, okay, hey, you're not meeting what I need, you've exceeded my deal breakers, I'm gonna move on. Like, there's no reason to cheat. Like, if they're not doing what you need them to do, if they're not satisfying you in the way that you need to be satisfied, move on.
Thank you. I respect that.
So,
thank you.
One of our viewers said, Charmaine said, I think it depends on the parties involved. And since we can't get into detail because it's almost over, I'm just going to say, and I'm going to stick to what I say, is no justification in cheating. If it gets to that point where you feel like you have to step out, if it gets to the point where you have to step out to be with another person to get sexual satisfaction, emotional satisfaction, or whatever satisfaction you're seeking for, then it's time to leave that relationship, and that's all I have to say.
So this has been the Cocktail Social. I am your host, Blue Waters. This is Be Exposed Radio. This was a hot topic, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Continue to weigh in. So tune into Be Exposed Radio. Tune into the Cocktail Social and give your comments. And also DM me your questions, and I'll bring it up at the next Cocktail Social. Love and light.
Yes.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved